Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. First up tonight, the forecast. A long stretch of rain is moving into our area as we speak. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Laguda. Tell us more about our forecast. Jeremy?
Well, Mark, when it comes to the rain, it is coming down, but it's keeping us a little bit warmer, 50 degrees as we currently sit. But get this, the rain is expected to continue and only get a little heavier from here. We caught that little bit of a break, but here comes our next push of moisture, and that takes us through a rather wet evening. Rain still coming down across the Palouse pretty heavily. Malden to Tico, Fairfield to Coeur d'Alene. We've still got that rain coming down. You move off to the north, those showers get a little more scattered, a couple more breaks in there, but get this. As we move through the remainder of the night, it looks like rain thickens up right in the middle of it, and then we wind up seeing more widespread showers as we wake up tomorrow. Still looking like we get a break in the middle of the day, but enjoy it if you can, because then we've got more moisture moving through tomorrow evening and then heading into a pattern that favors more scattered showers Thursday and Friday. Some of those could stay off to the north, so it's going to be an interesting one to watch. Let's get through tomorrow first, though. 55 degrees tomorrow, 62 Thursday, back in the mid-60s by Friday.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. It is election night across Idaho, and there are dozens of candidates looking to advance to the general election for several county, state, and federal positions. Tonight is the Idaho primary, which determines which candidates will represent the Constitution, Democratic, Libertarian, and Republican parties in the general election in November. Let's take a look at the race for Kootenai County Sheriff. Incumbent Sheriff Bob Norris is seeking another term, but looking to replace him is fellow Republican John Michael Bauer. Here's where the votes stand at this hour. Sheriff Norris holding a significant lead on Bauer at this hour. There are also some federal seats that we are tracking. For Idaho's District 1 seat, there are 4 candidates running for the 4 different political parties on the ballot. All these candidates will advance to the general election to represent their respective parties. Again, these candidates are not running against each other in the primary. Rather, they are running to represent their parties in the general election. Now let's take a look at U.S. Representative seat for District 2. There are 3 candidates running to represent the Republican Party, including incumbent Mike Simpson. And at this hour, it looks like Simpson will advance to the general election with a little more than 50% of the vote right now. And for the Constitution Party, candidate pro-life, formerly known as Marvin Richardson, is running against candidate Idaho Law Carter Sierra. Idaho Law has a very slight lead at this hour. Finally, there is only one candidate representing each the Libertarian and Democratic parties, so each of them will also advance to the general election. And one thing to note for the races tonight, these are unofficial results. They'll be certified next month. Meantime, just into our newsroom, within the last few minutes, the Coeur d'Alene Police Department arrested a man for reportedly trying to kidnap a girl from inside a car. Police say the girl was with her dad in the parking lot of St. Vincent de Paul. 33-year-old Peter Cahoon went up to the car, they say, and started asking them questions. That's when police say Cahoon tried to grab the girl out of the car window. When her dad tried to drive away, he jumped onto the hood. Police say he fell off and the dad managed to pull away. Cahoon was arrested and booked into the Kootenai County Jail on several charges tonight. In other news, the city of Harrington under a boil order tonight thanks to what officials are calling a, quote, water emergency. According to the city, a pump motor failed. They have switched to the original well system. They are asking people to use water sparingly and to boil any they do use. That order is in place until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Also new tonight, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office asking for help identifying the man you see right here on your screen. Deputies say he was seen breaking into a locked shed near Dishman-Micah Road and stealing about $100 worth of gardening tools. Then they say he sat on the porch of that home and started a small fire to keep warm. So if you recognize him or have any other information, you're urged to call the detective on this case, and that number is right there at the bottom of your screen. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. The man accused of sending 2 people to the hospital in a downtown crash yesterday went before a judge this afternoon. We have learned that he had more than 20 prior convictions. Joshua Devilman is charged with DUI, hit and run, and eluding police. SPD says he was driving a stolen red Jeep when he ran a red light on Main Avenue, hit another car and flipped it over. He then tried to run away, they say, but 2 off-duty Pasco police officers who happened to be in town chased him down and detained him. The 2 people inside the other car are expected to be okay. Today, his bond was set at $20,000. 2 WashDOT cameras showing us a new angle of a plane making an emergency landing this weekend on the north-south corridor. According to the incident report, WSP troopers discovered one of their 2 fuel tanks ran empty and they failed to switch to the full tank. WashDOT says it's incredible the pilot managed to land between the barriers that block traffic. A man named Marlon Laffoon is accused of breaking into a house in the Logan neighborhood and setting it on fire. Police say the people living in the house reported a man inside ransacking the place at around 6 o'clock in the morning. Police used a canine unit to control the suspect. Laffoon was supposed to appear before a judge today, but was reportedly sick. His appearance was rescheduled for tomorrow. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. Last August, the historic Gray Fire tore through the community of Medical Lake. It torched thousands of acres, destroyed dozens of homes, and claimed 1 life. But several viewers have reached out to the Verify team to ask about the fire's impact on the lake itself and whether it remains healthy to swim and recreate in. So I got some answers. 9 months after the Gray Fire tore through Medical Lake, burning thousands of acres, destroying 259 structures and tens of thousands of trees, the chaos has given way to a certain calmness, the pain turning to pride.
We think we're the crown jewel of Spokane County, actually.
Mayor Terry Cooper is quick to point out the progress made in the rebuilding process.
55 total losses in Medical Lake. We had about that many more damage, but 55 total losses. So we have 40 of those that have walls standing right now, which is incredible. We're not even at a year.
But what about the lake itself? Several viewers have reached out to our Verify team to ask if the water is safe to swim and recreate in following the firefighting efforts. They question if things like fire retardant, debris, or runoff have polluted the water. We took those questions to Chad Pritchard, a geology professor at Eastern Washington University who also serves on city council, the city's wastewater director, Steve Cooper, and to the mayor. Is Medical Lake safe to use this summer for people?
It is. It is safe to use.
The mayor says her confidence is based on regular testing for things like oxygen and pH levels, total phosphorus, nitrogen, and water temperature. Steve Cooper says the results have consistently shown the lake is healthy and safe.
One of the things that we were concerned about was stormwater getting, from the houses that were on fire, getting washed into the storm drains and coming down to the lake. So that was on our monitoring list, and fortunately that never happened.
So if someone came to you and asked you, hey, is the lake safe to use this summer following the wildfires from last summer, what would you tell them?
I would tell them absolutely. It's a great place to swim.
As luck would have it, city officials took a water sample from the lake the day before the Gray Fire started, allowing them to compare those results to samples following the fire.
And so we were able to sample the lake after the fire and before the fire, and that PFAS for the fire retardant, flame retardant, was exactly the same. So they poured phosphate around the lake, and we do see a slight impact in phosphorus in the lake, but it's still well below any levels that you'd be concerned about.
Safe to recreate in.
Oh, of course.
So we can verify Medical Lake is safe and healthy following the Gray Fire. One less thing to worry about as the community rebuilds and recovers from the historic wildfire. And if you have a story you'd like us to verify, you can email us at that address right there on your screen. Here on KREM 2 News, a Washington couple is reaching a big milestone in their recovery after losing everything in a wildfire 4 years ago in Okanogan County. It's an update you'll see only right here on KREM 2.
Watching the life go away from my child's eyes. It's not right.
We just miss him, and we never got to see him be a big brother, and we never will now. I'm not just a woman hoping to be a mom someday. I am someone who has experienced motherhood and then had it taken away.
That was the last time we saw Jake and Jamie Hyland. They were deep in the grieving process after losing their baby and their unborn baby in the Cold Springs fire of 2020. But now things have changed, and I'm back here in Seattle with an update that is breathing new life into their family.
But I remember in the car just having this moment where I'm like, I'm a dad again. My baby is here, and they're waiting for me to come. And I'm just like...
When she was born, she went onto my chest and latched on and started nursing, and I called Jacob, and I was like, she's here.
So make sure to join us for a heartwarming exclusive report tomorrow on KREM 2 News at 6. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. But don't go